Hello and welcome in to a Madhouse Monday here in No Man's Land. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside Joe Hunk and the man taking your calls. Bandy Man Bailey Lowery, 256-5764-97.7 is the number to get into the show. And I'll say this, you're going to want to get into today's show because we're not going to have one guest. We're going to have two guests on, and we're going to start with Ryan Sylvia in the upcoming segment.
Why are you standing up?
This is why I turned the camera up. Bandy, I'm looking at you. I didn't have a chair over here for a reason. Oh, he's already got a phone call. Look at that. You love to see it. Live radio. Here in Huntsville.
Why are you standing up?
Okay, so I'll tell him, all right? I was actually going to try and get through the whole show without bringing it up. My back is absolutely destroyed, Joe, all right? And I know it was like this last week as well, and I thought it was because of my aggressive inline skating. That's not the case. It's my stupid bed. It's got this huge little ridge inside of it where I've been sleeping all my life, and it's finally gotten to the point where it's taking me out. And then I got to admit, it was not good when it comes to my mental after having to witness the Browns get absolutely mollywop.
Oh, yeah, that's the game you start with.
Yeah,
today.
sure.
That's the game.
There's another game that affected my mental health a little bit more.
Oh, I don't doubt
There's
it.
a game that affected 90% of the state of Alabama's mental health.
Well, there's two games that actually helped combat that. Alabama's
They're losing fans by the day. I don't count them anymore.
He's talking about Auburn, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, it's fine. We're thinning out the bandwagoners.
Oklahoma 2.0. Yeah.
No. There wasn't. This team hasn't been good enough long enough for them to even have bandwagon fans. If they're bandwagon fans, these are like Cam Newton bandwagon fans.
Don't worry. We're not talking about Alabama. We're talking about Auburn with the bandwagon. That's what I'm saying. The last fans are going to actually be those Cam Newton fans. It's been
There's still Auburn fans?
There are still Auburn
Very,
fans.
very few.
Bandy, didn't you pick Auburn to win for your wacky?
I did, and they almost pulled it off.
They almost pulled it off.
I would have had my first one.
I would have been crazy. Well, the thing is, you don't go against the Mizzou Tigers.
Try telling you.
You don't go against the Mizzou Tigers whenever Brady Cook, of course, comes back from the hospital and he's able to finish off that game. They just didn't score enough.
You got beat by a man that went to the ER.
As always.
He was on a gurney and he was in the ER.
As always.
And you lose.
And he was still better than Peyton Thorne.
Auburn still does not put up enough to close out games and win them. And they left a window open for Mizzou to just hop right back in there. You can't do that, especially not at home.
Can you freeze hop the other way through that window?
Golly.
Please.
Hopefully it's 3 stories.
I'm
joking.
They had an 80% chance to win with 3 minutes left.
You never trusted the percentage. Don't tell them.
Dude, I never, ever look at the percentage.
Yeah.
Like the whole win percentage thing could be one of the dumbest things in sports.
Could be.
And I get that's a talking point. It's good for a talking point. But the win percentage idea, totally idiotic.
Yeah. The Amazon stats that pop up on the screen and tell you that a team has a 78% chance when they're going into the fourth quarter with a 10-point lead. I mean, and that's something that can turn around just like that. And in college football, it's even better because everybody's going to be doing something, as we saw, of course, last weekend where we had some wacky underdog pick winners, all right, and it was a lot of fun. I'm still looking at Brandon's picks, and I'm scratching my head. We're going to give him the points, but I'm going to have to make an NCAA official decision right now, all right?
Okay, so you're going to make a decision on this in 2029?
A decision. No. I'm going to make it like how they made it on
on Dan Lanning?
On Dan Lanning.
Where they decided
Very
like in
quick.
3 days and
Very
you really saw how quickly the NCAA could work if they wanted to? Okay,
It's because it doesn't give them money.
Well, it's also because they must not have anything else going on.
Surely.
That's a total lie.
Surely.
But Brandon had Bethune-Cookman against the Mississippi Valley State whatevers. And I have to admit, I don't even know what the line was on this. What was the spread? Did he say 5? I looked it up. I tried to find it. You can't find these, all right, Brandon? I don't know where you're going to find them, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's time I put my foot down, all right? I'm going to work a little bit quicker than the NCAA. I will give you your points. Come in, call into the show. Let me know how many points they were supposed to get because both of these teams are going into this game winless, all right? So how the hell are we supposed to determine which team's actually better than the other?
Hey, plot twist. He picked the favorite. If there is no line, what if you pick the favorite and try to play it off as the underdog?
Here's the thing. I'll never know unless he's got proof. But I'll say 5 points to him. It doesn't change anything.
Can I add to this when it comes to Brandon?
Yes.
Geraldine did cover the spread against WCA. I just want to throw it out there. Spread was 36. Geraldine won by 48. I'm letting you know because I know somebody's going to ask. Yes, Geraldine covered the spread.
All right, to go down a little bit more of the Wacky Underdog picks before we get into the official sports talk, which is going to be focusing heavily, of course, on the Alabama Crimson Tide as they lose their second game of the season, and a lot of stats go back to 2007. And I just want to tell the Alabama fans out there, including myself, it's all right. Just calm down, breathe a little bit, and roll tide.
He's to himself, isn't he?
I am.
You're saying it to yourself.
I need to sleep somehow, and regardless,
now
my back's going to hurt.
Now you got a massive matchup against Mizzou.
Well,
who thought we were going to say that?
Here's the thing. Mizzou has been pretty hot as of late. And again, we'll get into these conversations. But as of this season, though, Mizzou's not the same Mizzou team we even saw just last year. All right? So they had their ups, and now they're currently slowly trending down because of Brady Cook, because of Luther Burton. There's not a lot going on with this offense, not a lot going on with the defense. It's going to turn out to be just a fun game where I think Alabama will win. I'm not making my predictions just yet, though. I need to see how this team kind of gets back up when it comes to a loss to a Tennessee team in Knoxville, because there's not a lot of getting back up from there. But we do have a path forward for the Crimson Tide and how they can still make it to the playoffs. But let's head back over to Wacky Underdog Picks to get the winner for the halfway point prize. And I will update that Joe did get a win this week. Tennessee beating Alabama.
There
you go. 3 points. Still don't know how.
Double check.
Still don't know how Tennessee was the underdog in that match.
I really don't either. That's the only reason I picked it. There was no reason for Tennessee to be the underdog in this game.
And at the end of the day, those are the only two winners of this past week. But I will say this. The people who won this week didn't win when it comes to the halfway point season. And the winner of it all would be me, 39 points. I can't get a prize, though. That's not a thing that can happen.
Did you notice a little subtle little?
No, it wasn't subtle at all.
I'm calling insider.
It was actually Jason who gets the win. Bandy, do we have the laugh track, the clap track, whatever it's called over there?
Why are we laughing?
Jason won with 26 points. Joe, you had 25 and a half.
So you're telling me I lost just because I didn't pick the Colorado one on air?
Yes.
I didn't make it an official declaration.
Yes.
God bless it.
I only started making my picks after you started making your picks. All right.
Yeah.
I got 39 points. I probably won't get any more for the rest of the season, but you go down the list a little bit more. Yorkie, you have 23 points. Smokey Mike has 6. There's a big drop off. Brandon, you also have 6 pending a spread from that Bethune-Cookman game. On top of that, Kramer has 5.5 points. Natty Dan has 5.5 points. And Dale sits at the bottom with 3.5. But he's not truly at the bottom because Bandy is yet to get a win.
Can I be at the bottom if I'm not even on the board?
He's not even on the board, so he can't. So, Dale, you were still at the bottom.
Seriously? Yeah.
Oh, jeez. We got a lot of fun stuff to get into. I'm very much excited for it, but you guys should also know that we do stream the show over on our YouTube. WZZN TV is where to find us. Go over there, join in on the ecosystem that is the comments section. You'll have a lot of fun over there.
Right.
We're not. I mean, there's no rules against the comment section. You can say whatever you want over there.
Yeah, that's definitely unfiltered.
That's what people love.
Yeah. Speaking of Brandon coming in on the chat saying, I see John is feeling his Thurman Munson stash via his Yankee days.
He lost a bet.
No, I didn't.
Lost a bet.
The beard was getting too big. It was getting too scraggly. It's hard to try and keep,
dude.
On tap.
Look at this. I deal with this every day.
You get an electric razor.
No,
You trim it up every once in a while.
Look, the face part is good. It's the neck that becomes annoying because for a lot of us, especially me, I have coarse hair, so I'll get a lot of ingrown hairs in the neck. Tea tree oil.
Tea tree oil.
Tea tree oil. You put tea tree oil in there, it reduces the ingrown hairs.
I just throw a little bit of alcohol on my neck and I'm good to go.
Yeah, do that after shaving. That's smart.
It burns,
really
it's good.
smart.
It's good. It kills the
builds
bacteria.
It builds character.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like I go into a barber shop and they throw that stuff.
It's like
on
watching the fourth quarter of Alabama, Tennessee. Just
I can make it. Boy, it's just alcohol.
Oh, it's an interception on the first play. Either way, we also look forward to the World Series as it has finally come to fruition.
I think that's why he's doing it.
We all know that the Yankees are going to be facing off now against the Dodgers. This is exactly what the MLB wanted. I can't say that it's scripted, especially not compared to some of the football games that we watched over this past weekend. But I will say this. Baseball, it is one of there's nothing like it. When it gets into the postseason, there's really nothing like it. And Joe, I know that I'm not a huge fan of the regular season throughout. I'm not just going to watch all 165,000 games, but I will watch whenever it gets to the postseason.
Look, it's and these are hands down the two best teams.
Yeah.
And I've been on record of saying that I've loved watching the Yankees play all year.
Mm-hmm.
This is genuinely the equivalent of having the Cowboys and Steelers playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This is having, if you want to go Lakers Celtics, like this is what this is. Like this is the two biggest brands in professional baseball going at it.
Very much.
And
so.
if the ratings are down for this World Series, then Major League Baseball has got to check themselves because there is no, oh, well, it's Pittsburgh and Kansas City and nobody cares. No, this is the two biggest markets in the nation. If the ratings are down on this, then you've got to check yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to figure this out because there's no reason you should not have a major number with this.
Yeah, and with the amount of competition we've seen throughout the postseason going into this game, the fun that we've had from watching the Yankees, the intrigue that we've had from Shohei Ohtani and this Dodgers team, I mean, it just leads into one of the perfect culminations that is the World Series, and I will be sitting there to watch every single game except for the one on Saturday because I'll be at a wedding enjoying my buddy's change of life. But, it's changes altogether.
I mean, giving his life up.
Yeah.
So the way that the whole Dodgers thing is I have loved all the memes that have now come out about Shohei Ohtani and the ones about, when he's coming up to bat and stuff. Did you guys see the one over the weekend? I saw it for the first time.
I haven't. No.
Was Babe Ruth coming to bat and underneath and right to the left of him was like 90 years away from Shohei Ohtani taking in at bat. Like it's that sort of stuff that we're just making fun of how much Fox is leaning in to the Shohei Ohtani thing. But again, I'm telling you, this is a once in a generational, actually not even generational. This is a once in a lifetime player.
It seems like
you've got to watch.
It really seems like Travis Hunter type of stuff, but it's not the same Shohei Ohtani because he's only hitting the ball. But whenever we saw him, of course, with the Angels, all of
what's
that,
going to happen?
That seemed like Travis Hunter. What do you think?
It's going to be like game 6. Dodgers are going to be up 3-2, and they're going to be running out of pitchers.
Oh, jeez.
And Shohei's going to come out and he's going to pitch.
No.
You want to talk about it'll be Shohei versus Aaron Judge for the World Series.
And
actually, that would be sick.
It'll be the final.
See,
hit.
I mean, look,
I'll give you that.
See?
I don't like either of these teams, but I'll give you that. That would be
Think
awesome.
about the WBC came down to Shohei and Mike Trout. It came down to that. I'm telling you, watch it. I promise you, somewhere Dave Roberts is and Shohei are working on this. They are thinking about if we need you as an emergency pitcher in a crucial situation, are you good to go? Just wait.
I think he'll take the call. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of stuff to get into, and you guys are able to join the conversation again. 256-5764
97.7
is the number to get in. Bandy, who do we got first?
We got Natty Dan on the hotline. You got me feeling pretty good about your Lions there, brother.
All right. First off, you spend way too much time on baseball. Tigers.
I agree.
I care about.
Now that the Tigers are out, we've spent too much time on it.
That's right. That's right. I don't give a crap. You know that. Now let's talk a little bit about Alabama. Bottom line is, it's a brand name. They've been very good, and that shows you how great your coach was. What's going on with your team? And I believe that he doesn't have control of the team like Nick Saban would. Okay. And it's discipline. Nick Saban is disciplined. That's why he did well as he did. Now, with that said, you only have 2 losses. Teams can get in with 2 losses with your brand name, and if you win out, you're in. All right, so I'm going to give you a sound bite, okay? This is a sound that I want you to hear.
Don't talk.
And that's the sound of a fork being put in us because it's over, baby. I was there in Champaign, Illinois. I saw the letdown.
Right.
Sherrod Moore does not have control of this team. All right, I hate to say it, but we need to kind of clean house of everything that's Harbaugh, even though Harbaugh gave me a national championship.
Amen.
There's too much controversy going on, and I'm telling you, some kids don't want to come to this program because they're still under investigation, if I'm mistaken. And we're not spending money like these other teams. So I guess I hate to say it, and I didn't want college football to be about this, but we need to spend the money. Now, with that said, I will tell you, I made the TV that game. I was in the stands and they had a picture of me and my best friend's brother-in-law.
Yo, we saw that.
Like we lost our best friend. And I'm going, oh my God, because I was really not happy. It was 5 minutes left. I told my buddy, I said, this game's over. I said, Purdue, as bad as they are, they scored 40-plus points against Illinois. We could only muster up 7.
Jeez.
I thought Tuttle was the answer quarterback. No, he's a turtle or a turd. He ain't no good. All right. So bottom line is that we need to retool, recoach. I hate to say it after winning the national championship, but that's going to happen. Now let's move on real quickly to my Lions. How about my Lions? Okay.
Hell yeah, this is a great team.
Gave up. This team is a bunch of hard, blue collar, hard-working, automotive assembly line workers, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, Motor City Madness. All right, Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever. Look it, I'm telling you, I like what I see, and I think we're trying to get the defensive end from the Raiders.
Okay, Max Crosby.
Yeah, can you imagine him? And when Hutchinson comes back, it's going to be nasty. Listen, I don't think we're out of this at all. I still think we're in it. We have the best division, I should say, in football. I think we do with all our teams. So, and I'm the only thing I want to make. If Tom's listening, Tom, I'll talk to you at lunchtime. But he's a Packer. He's a cheesehead lover. He thinks they're going to beat us. Well, I got something for you, pal. It's called Swiss cheese because you're full of holes. All right. That's right. It's coming down. The Lions are going to start punking some people. All right. They're already punking people.
Yeah.
And we shut down Minnesota. All right. Without our starting defensive end. That offense is great. Alabama North or North Alabama, however you want to do it. That's these players, Alabama North, that's what I call them, are winning me games. Gibbs is unbelievable, all right? And we got our wide receiver, Williams. I'm telling you, this is Bama. A lot of Bama players. And, I'm not a Bama fan, but I am when they're on my Detroit Lions team.
Yes, sir.
So it is. I'm selling out, but I don't care because I want my cash.
Why so are you not going to call them Sonic and Knuckles yet? Are you not saying that yet? Are you on board now with the nickname?
Who?
With Gibbs and Montgomery. They want to be called Sonic and Knuckles.
Oh, that's
they've already come up with their nickname, man, because Gibbs wants to be Sonic and Knuckles is Montgomery.
Of course.
They want to be called Sonic. Yeah.
And you got to know the Bears right now just going, oh my God, we let him go. So I mean, Montgomery's just he hurt his knee. I drove home. I was listening to on the radio, and when he hurt his knee, I'm going, here we go. Injury prone is going to kill this team. But obviously Montgomery must have been a twink or something, a small little injury, because he came back and played really well. Yeah. But I like that nickname, fellas.
Yep, Sonic and Knuckles.
And it looks like it might be Kansas City again, for crying out loud.
Jeez.
I mean, if they win, if Kansas City does end up by winning this, are they a dynasty? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, I think they're a dynasty before it even gets to this season. If they do this, then it's more impressive because Patrick Mahomes isn't having anywhere close to what is considered a good season for his standards. And this team is not only winning, but winning dominantly.
And they're also changing their mascot to the Swifts. They've got to do that.
Well,
Stop it.
Yeah.
But, that's just the cherry on top.
You do remember?
Stop it.
You do remember last year I put cash on the Lions straight up to beat Kansas City, and guess what happened?
Yeah. Oh, we know.
Yeah. So Lions, the Lions are for real, fellas.
I agree with you.
Just get used to it, okay?
All right. You got a good turnover.
Thanks for the time. And it's wash this year. It's a washout for my boys in Ann Arbor. It is what it is. I was there live. I saw the team, and I had one player that actually he was sitting in his chair like a fold-out chair, had his back to the field, and was just looking at the stands. I'm going, okay, this is good.
Yeah.
So
definitely not.
Anyway.
Yep.
Appreciate you, Natty Dan.
See ya.
Good stuff from him. He can accept it that his team is not good.
So does that mean now that since he said you can stick a fork in him, can we do the same thing with the nickname Natty Dan?
I think it's.
He came
to the conclusion. So he's back to Wolverine Dan, or are we going to call him Detroit Dan?
No. It's Wolverine Dan.
Okay,
yeah, but I'm glad that he brought him Mahomes, though. I got something to say about him later on in the show.
Right. He's the angry runs winner for this week after trucking a 49er in the end zone.
Dude, he absolutely put him to bed. Either way, when we get back, a little bit of Alabama talk as we try and figure out what is exactly going on for this Tuscaloosa team that we hold so dearly to our heart. Not Joe.
We do.
And then we're going to take it into a conversation with Ryan Sylvia to figure out where this Tennessee team is going forward after getting that big win in Knoxville. That's what's coming up when we get back here on the Morning Blitz.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go Higher and go Army.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A quiet night expected across the Tennessee Valley. We'll see low temperatures fall into the low 50s for the overnight. Mostly clear sky expected. Heading into our Tuesday, we'll continue to see another dry day full of sunshine. High temperatures warming once again into the lower 80s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I knew you were trying to screw with us.
Yeah, what's up?
What are you doing?
What?
Totally fine. I'll chill with the song for a second. We deserve it.
It's just having fun. It's all good
about
and fun.
having fun. You could have played this in the next segment when we get Ryan Sylvia on.
I thought about it, but then I also got Spooky Top ready to go.
Okay.
I mean, look, I have already.
That pissed me off. Whenever they started playing the Spooky Top, I was just like,
It's over.
we're boned.
It's over.
Spooky Top.
You know what? No, when you hear Spooky Top, it's just like the Undertaker when he stands up and he does the throat slash.
Mhm.
It's ball game. It's done.
Look,
It's done.
we all have our own opinions on how this game was. Of course, we're pretty upset for Alabama fans. Of course, seeing this is just not something we see usually. But at the same time, guys, this is an Alabama team that has been at the top of college football for over a decade. All right. So, of course, we're going to be a little bit spoiled. And yes, it's going to get to the point where we're like, hey, this isn't the standard that the Crimson Tide have laid down for us. Guys, this is the standard that Alabama and Nick Saban set for us. What did we expect was going to happen? Our team was going to make it all the way to the national championship and win it all. There's a lot of pieces that even Nick Saban left that were a little bit problematic. And I'm not going to throw all the blame at Jalen Milroe because I don't think that he is the main problem. I just think that we have a coach that is currently trying to figure out how to use his quarterback correctly, and it's not working. Once you're down 2 losses, it's already too late. Now, there is still a path, and we will get into that path in the second hour, but it's going to take a little bit of help. What I see currently, and everybody's going to be able to chip in on this one, even Joe Hunk.
What's up?
Tennessee fan.
Yep, what's up?
I'll say this, all right? I like the way that Milroe was able to kind of notice when I should not run here, and I should probably just throw the ball. But there were still some times whenever we saw Milroe take a little stutter step, about to run forward, and then he backs off, and he's like, actually, there's a guy right there I can pass it to, and he just throws the ball, and then it's a completion. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty impressive. Also, Alabama's O-line was actually doing pretty good.
No, look, Alabama's offensive line did very good for Milroe, and not just him. That, like, in all joking aside, like, this is where the whole, he's joking. No, I'm telling you, the pass blocking that you had from your running backs, Alabama's running backs did an amazing job at pass blocking.
Yeah,
and I'm not trying to exaggerate.
No, sometimes a little too well.
Because Tennessee only had 3 sacks in that ball game. There could have been twice that.
Yeah.
But Jam Miller did an amazing job pass blocking.
And I think it's a perfect thing to say, like, this goes back to that South Carolina game last week. And we also learned that, hey, South Carolina is not too shabby. Yeah, they ended up destroying an Oklahoma team that needs a lot of help as well in their first year of the SEC. But at the same time, you look back at the last few games. Oh, Alabama almost lost to South Carolina. Oh, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. Look at how Vanderbilt's doing right now. Look at what South Carolina did just last week. Tennessee is a good team. We all know this, all right? I couldn't even figure out exactly what this team in Alabama needed to do against Tennessee that, who knows, could struggle in this game, which they did. But they were still able to fix the problems halfway through, turn it around, and they were able to get the win. I saw Coach DeBoer trying to coach Jalen Milroe and trying to get him to do the same things that his last quarterback did, Michael Penix, where he's throwing over 30 balls a game, and it's just not working for this guy.
45 times on Saturday.
It's not right.
45.
It's not the same quarterback. The first thing he's going to do, and this is similar, you can throw back to, I don't know, Cam Newton. Just go to an option game. Make it seem like you were going to run every single time, and then maybe throw the ball away. I just saw a quarterback who does not have the mindset to throw the ball to one of his wide receivers, one of his open reads, and instead elects to, hey, I'm going to run it. Hey, I'm going to pass it to Ryan Williams. That's not the way that you're supposed to run this quarterback because he is not Michael Penix Jr. I don't think he is a first-round NFL quarterback.
So you want RPOs?
I want a little bit more RPOs, and I want to mainly see a run first and then maybe set up some passes that are quick so you don't have to go too much. Would you
possibly be interested in an offensive coordinator that may be the head coach at Auburn?
No.
He loves RPOs.
Because there's a OC on the market right now. Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
I wouldn't mind picking up.
My biggest concern, really, in all seriousness, watching Jalen Milroe on Saturday night, he does realize that Ryan Williams isn't the only wide receiver on the field, right?
There's some really top talents in that
he
wide
does,
receiver room,
but I'm the reason why I say that is I know that Bernard had the 28-yard reception, which was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many times Jalen Milroe threw to Ryan Williams on Saturday night?
You said he had 45 passes?
He had 45 passes.
18 times.
I'm going to say 23.
23, damn.
No, you are spot on. 18 times.
Okay.
18 targets for Ryan Williams. 18 targets. His other 3 wide receivers barely had 21 targets. God. And one of those was a running back.
Yep.
And Justice Haynes. Like, it was almost every time Milroe panicked, he's like, screw it. I'm going to throw wherever I think Ryan Williams is.
Yeah.
Like, screw it. I'm going to. Even look at the interception in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
And on the very first drive. You should not have thrown that pass.
No.
There was he was so focused on throwing a jump pass to Ryan Williams, he didn't even focus on the fact that the cornerback was only looking at him because it was a zone coverage. He wasn't focused on that. The second go round was man, and the cornerback's back was to the ball, whereas in the first time, cornerback was staring Milroe in the face, and he threw this interception.
Mm-hmm.
He was so focused on trying to get number 2 the ball that he totally forgot about everybody else on the field.
And I get it. I mean, this is a unique talent you got in Ryan Williams. But in that type of situation, if you're even going to throw it to him, you need to at least give him a chance or get the ball out of bounds. Don't throw it low. You need to throw it above his head. You need to make him reach for this type of football. And Ryan Williams has the height to do it. Now, of course, it's going to lead to this. All right. Ryan Williams, he got 8 of those receptions. And at the end of the day, the kid was getting beat up. Like compared to other weeks, he was getting beat up. And I'll say this much, he was getting thrown around. And that's because, yes, he's 17. He hasn't fully grown to a college football body yet. And we'll see that in time. But right now, you need to rely on some of these other guys that have actually played the sport for football teams in college for a little bit longer. Jeremy Bernard had a great game. He had 72 yards altogether on 5 receptions. Kendrick Law is a speedster, and this is a beast. If you get it to him, he's not going to be the tallest receiver, but he is going to be the most powerful when it comes to knocking some guys on their asses. I just did not see a team that was going to run the right offense, and it upsets me because I don't want to blame it on Jalen Milroe, but this is what is kind of having to happen with, Kalen DeBoer thinking he knows what he has in a quarterback that, yes, has a huge arm and, yes, could run, but most of the rushing attempts came from passing plays. And that continues to be the story that halts this offense. And I wasn't even going to hop into the defense because I think the defense actually played a pretty good game. And also Tennessee just was not that good on offense until, the end of it all.
There was
if Nico hadn't overthrown like 3 passes, it could have been so much worse.
No, look,
it could have been so much worse.
And we'll talk to Ron Sylvia about this in just a second. But I want to know why it took Tennessee so long to go, wait a second. You can run the ball against one of the worst run defenses in the SEC.
We have a game. Yeah, we have the leading rusher in the SEC just chilling in the backfield. Let's give him some touches.
He needs some 5 touchdowns.
Let's get to Ron Sylvia out of that here. John's on a roll. I'm kind of nervous.
I'm not on a roll. I just want to throw one other thing that is good because I did a lot of good and I did a little bit of bad, more bad than good. Bama does get $100K from the fans storming the field. Okay. And honestly, they should have lost every single game so where they could build up the money. So next year they're able to buy a brand new team altogether. I'm just saying that. There's an idea right there.
You want to talk?
I'm just saying. We're going to talk to Ryan Silver.
Word, overreaction.
When we get back. Of course, it's a Monday.
Calm down. It hasn't been like this for decades.
Monday Night Football, 2 games are on the schedule tonight. The 2-4 Cardinals will square off with the 3-2 LA Chargers. Marvin Harrison Jr. was a full participant at practice Friday and Saturday. He's recovering from a concussion and is questionable for the game. LA is favored by 1.5 heading in. The over-under 44.5. The Cardinals even on the money line. The Chargers minus 120. Elsewhere, Baltimore visits Tampa. Both teams are 4-2-0. The Ravens by 3.5. Over-under 50.5. Tampa plus 170. Baltimore minus 200. The Dodgers and Yankees open up the World Series this Friday. New York plus 105. LA minus 125. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Welcome back into the Morning Blitz, presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. If you guys are looking forward to the Tom Abraham show, I will say this. He might be playing some golf, and I actually might be a part of that team. And I'm gonna say this right now. I'm going to push through the pain. I'm going to play all of the holes, and I'm going to possibly get even. Possibly. This is only the second golf course I've actually played at, the Huntsville Country Club, so it'll be a lot of fun.
What was the other one? Cherokee Ridge?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think,
I think it'll be a little bit easier than Cherokee Ridge.
I got to see it.
So.
I got to see when I was putting up the tent. It's beautiful out there, but before, we don't want to talk too much golf.
No, absolutely. And right on Saturday afternoon, I was having to get ready to go to my stepmother's birthday party. And so as I'm doing that, I'm watching this game and I'm in the shower, not to give anybody any visuals, but I'm in the shower. And all I'm doing as I'm watching the game between Alabama and Tennessee is I'm looking at Tennessee going, why are you not running the ball? Run the ball. That was it. Like, I kept wanting to know why they did not run the ball more in the first half. And Ryan Sylvia joins us right now from Vol Report. You can follow him on X at Ryan T. Sylvia on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Ryan, why didn't Tennessee run the ball more early on in this matchup, and they continued to throw with Nico?
I think it was mostly because of the offensive line and the struggles that it had in the run game. It honestly, in pass protection, I felt like the offensive line, it wasn't perfect by any means, but it was a lot better than what we've seen the past few weeks. But in the first half, that offensive line just wasn't getting much of a push in the run game. When they tried to go to the run, Dylan Sampson, he was making plays because it's Dylan Sampson, but at the same time, he kind of had the card stacked against him, and it wasn't as explosive as they wanted. Then you look to the pass game, and there was a lot of plays there, and Nico was just missing a lot of throws. But Tennessee thought that they had the advantage in the secondary. They thought that, if Nico could kind of dial it in and hit some receivers, and that would be a way to get that offense going. But ultimately, neither proved very successful in that first half, but the third straight week with 0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it definitely was tough to watch. Both Jalen Milroe and Nico kind of missing their wide receivers. But do you think it ended up helping him going into the second half after passing the ball so many times and actually, failing on a lot of those passes? But nothing really went against them at the end of the day, as they were still able to go to the half 7-0 with a big chance to win this game.
Yeah, I think you have to have a lot of confidence just because of what the defense is doing. So even though the offense is struggling, like, I think when you walk into the locker room and you look at the scoreboard and it's just a 7-0 game, everything's still right there. And obviously it was, since he goes on to win the game. But I think that has to help you as an offensive player and as a quarterback when you have such an elite defense playing on the other side of the field, that you feel like you can go out there and maybe make some mistakes and not everything's over. And we saw Nico at the end of the game. He gets banged up there for a little bit, misses a play, and then comes back in. He jokes that maybe it kind of knocks some sense into him a little bit. He threw that interception right after, but then after that, he was really good. He had a really solid second half. So I think that we saw him build some confidence too there towards the end of the game. That throw to Dante Thornton where he's rolling out of the pocket on the run, just launches it 50 yards, and Dante comes up with it and sets up a touchdown. And then the third down throw to Chris Brazzell for the final score of the game. I think with the defense giving you some confidence that not everything has to be perfect, and then also now you've connected on some deep balls, I think we could see maybe a little bit more confidence from Nico coming out of this bye week.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Ryan Sylvia from Vol Report joins us to talk a little bit more about this Volunteers victory over the Crimson Tide. 24-17 was the score on the third weekend of October. I want to talk about a little bit of Alabama, and I know you were watching this game from both perspectives. What did you think about this Alabama team that they could have probably done a little bit more of to maybe catch Tennessee off guard in this matchup?
That's a good question. I think part of it is just not kind of being stupid, almost like Jalen Milroe at the goal line. You can't throw a bad jump ball that's interceptable like he did, where you try to get it up to Ryan Williams and Jermod McCoy makes a great play on it, but you cannot leave that possession against the Tennessee offense that's struggling so much without putting points on the board. And we saw other decisions, not just from Jalen Milroe, but I've seen a lot another one where I can't remember exactly what stage of the game this was, but it was relatively early where he drops back and he's got two wide open receivers and a lane to run. He just misses everything. Like those types of situations against the Tennessee defense, you have to take advantage of. You can't leave the positive side of the field without getting at least 3 points on the board. And so that's kind of where I was at with Alabama, where it was like, if you just clean some things up, then this game might have been a little too out of hand for Tennessee to pitch the kind of mini comeback they did if you go into halftime up more than just 7-0. So you can tell some stuff is there. You can tell there's talent, but similar to Tennessee in some aspects, you just got to go out there and execute it.
Yeah, and I could tell at the beginning of this game, it looked like Alabama actually did have some things handled, and then it just goes into the second half, and it all falls apart. Joe?
No, and you mentioned something about Nico that I was going to ask you about, and I want to go a little bit more in depth with, is the injury that, whenever he tried to make the pass, first off, if that would have been actually considered a pass or a lateral, that would have been just the most luckiest thing ever with Alabama going in there. I mean, it was a perfect hop into that would have got him a first down. But that play, and I know that I felt like Nico was a little bit amped up going into this one. Same thing goes for Alabama. I think both teams were really amped up. But when he goes into the tent, when he has to stand off to the sidelines, obviously the interception's thrown. How much did that really calm him down? Because I did feel like he was a much more calm quarterback once he got back in the game after that injury.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know if it's just getting that different perspective for just one play that you're standing on the bench where the offense is on the field, and you maybe just got kind of chance to catch your breath. But he did look a lot better. He still did make one mistake on the ensuing drive. Tennessee marches right down the field, and we're in the press box kind of looking at each other, and we're making the joke, maybe that exact situation happened. And then Tennessee gets within like the 15, and he just throws a horrendous interception, and Tennessee gets off the field without scoring any points in a situation where, once again, you just have to at least get 3 there. Just throw that ball away. I mean, it was first and 10 too, so just set up second down, but he tries to force one, and it's intercepted. But then even after that, it wasn't like, all right, here goes Nico. He's going to make some more bad decisions, miss some more deep balls. He looked dialed in from there. So if you can kind of capture what that was in the second half, this Tennessee offense, it could be plenty good enough for Tennessee to win a lot of football games with the defense that they have. So I don't know if exactly what happened that made him kind of dial in there in the second half. But, I mean, even he kind of joked about it in the post game. Like I said, he was like, yeah, maybe it helped me a little bit. So could that be a turning point for Tennessee this season? Is Nico getting banged up for a play and having to come out of the game? I guess we'll have to see, but it looked like it on Saturday.
Well, and not only the way the second half went, the 24 points, I know that a lot of Tennessee fans have been looking at Nico going like, hey man, you're supposed to be this godsend. You're supposed to be the next Peyton Manning. You're supposed to be doing all this other stuff. And a lot of Tennessee fans have been hard on Nico the past few weeks because of the Florida game, because of Oklahoma. Does this change the mindset with Tennessee fans now that they scored the 24 in the second half, they won the football game, and now Tennessee beat Alabama for the second straight time at Neyland?
I think it does for some. For some, there's still a bad taste in their mouth because of 3 straight abysmal first halves of offense. And so I think for some, the kind of negative side of the fan base, which every fan base has, I think that they're still kind of going, okay, well, maybe we got lucky in these last 2 games. You had to go to overtime to beat a Florida team that it shouldn't have been that close. You kind of had to scrape out a win against Alabama, which obviously you'll take every time and you'll celebrate every time. But at the same time, it was ugly. So I think part of the fan base is like that. But then the other part of the fan base, I think, is looking at that second half and saying, just capture those 30 minutes of football. If you can capture those 30 minutes of football where you put up 24 points, where you were moving the ball down the field effectively, where the defense continued to stand up and do a great job of limiting Alabama, then you can beat Georgia and Athens. You can go to the playoffs and you can make some noise, and who knows what happens. And I think that's kind of the more accurate side of things, is just capture those 30 minutes in the second half. And it looked like maybe things were starting to click a little bit, but you kind of have to see it to believe it in the first half at this point. Like, it's been 3 straight first halves without scoring a single point for Tennessee football.
Crazy.
Josh Heupel coached over 40 games before that happened, and that didn't happen in any of those 40 games. So it's tough to kind of see that drop off on the offense and then have confidence going forward that things will get changed. And you're going up against a good Kentucky defense next week, a game that Tennessee should win. So it's not like offensively, though, for Tennessee, it's going to get a whole lot easier next week in the first half. But they could try to build some confidence there. You get a bye week to try to iron things out. You get Kentucky, who's got a good defense but isn't a great team. Then you have Mississippi State, who might be the worst team in the SEC.
Yeah.
So you have a little stretch here to maybe build some confidence on the offensive side heading into Athens.
Well, and it's hard to critique a defense that did what they did in the second half against Alabama, and you only give up a little over 300 yards total. But I know that they had 9 tackles for loss, and this team is one of the best in the SEC with getting the TFLs. But what's going on with the defense where they're still not getting to the quarterback the way that I think a lot of Vols fans would like, because they were bringing pressure. They brought pressure a lot, but why is it not resulting in more sacks?
Yeah, part of it is just Jalen Milrose, an elite, elusive quarterback in that sense, where he's going to be really tough to bring down. And that's kind of been the type of quarterback Tennessee said to face so far. I mean, you look at DJ Lagway and Graham Mertz, they're two guys that are capable of extending plays. You look at the week before that against Arkansas with Taylon Green, or even the week before that, or 2 weeks before that with Oklahoma, where Jackson Arnold and Michael Hawkins are both guys that can do that. So that's kind of been just the type of quarterback Tennessee's had to face so far, are guys that aren't going to be easy to bring down even once you get home. But part of it too, like we've seen with James Pierce, who's had a really good stretch here, but his numbers could look a lot better if he was just able to kind of get a paw on some guys. And he's been able to get into the backfield, and he's been able to maybe kind of swipe a guy, but not be able to fully bring him down. And then there's a sack situation that you kind of can't take advantage of. So yeah, they're getting home. They're bringing pressure. I think they did a pretty good job of containing Milroe for the most part and not letting him do too much with his legs. So there's a lot of positives to it, but you still have to finish the play sometimes. And it's really tough against Jalen Milroe. It's really tough against guys that are great runners, but you would like to see maybe a better success rate for when you do get into the backfield and actually bring a guy down with a sack.
No doubt about that. You look forward, you got Brock Vandergriff as a quarterback for the Kentucky Wildcats. And then moving over to Mississippi State, I mean, this is a team that had a shift in their quarterback situation. Now they have Michael Van Buren Jr. as the QB. So that team's looking a little bit better and a little bit mobile, at least behind the line of scrimmage. But Ryan, appreciate you as always, man. Real quick, do you think Tennessee, the fans should have stormed that field? I mean, was it worth it at that point?
So here's the funny thing about how that went down is the fans didn't really rush the field at first.
Yeah.
Like, the final whistle blows and the entire student section, the Tennessee fans surrounding Neyland Stadium, they stayed put. And then you look over and it was the recruits over in the kind of section where they hold the recruits. They start jumping the fence and coming onto the field, and then they're seated right next to the family section, and the family comes out. And so for like 5 minutes, it was just the recruits and the families that were running onto the field.
Slow trickle.
And then at some point, I guess the student section on the other side of the stadium saw that go down. They're like, oh, we're doing this? Okay. Well, let's get down there and let's start celebrating. So, I mean, I think it would have sent more of a message to not rush the field and be like, hey, look, Alabama, you're not big, scary Alabama anymore. We're going to sit back up here and we're going to celebrate our win from the stands and smoke our cigars from the stands, but you're not worthy of rushing the field anymore because this isn't the Nick Saban. I feel like that could have been
a huge message, a
little message to send, but kind of things went a little funny with how the field storming started, and then obviously once that gets started, it's a wave that you can't really stop, and there goes the goalpost.
Well, and Ryan, as we get you out of here, just one last question about some investigative reporting. Is it true or false that Nico's father really is Maui?
I would have to look into that.
That man is.
I did get a front row seat to his family jumping over the fence and running. And they looked pretty happy. I saw his mom and some extended family. They had their phones out taking selfie videos and stuff. So I will say that family's embracing the UT culture, and it's been fun to watch.
That man is massive. He is, I mean, seriously, he is massive.
And we just had the Maui commercial actually just pop up.
Oh, did we really?
Yeah, no, it was perfect.
It's the first thing I thought of when I saw him. I went, that man right there could get Moana to his sword without even trying. Yeah. That man is a beast.
Yeah. You can tell where Nico gets his kind of size from. Saying that, what, like 6'6".
Well, give him a few more years and he's going to start widening out a little bit more. And who knows? He could be a Vince Young type of quarterback by the end of it. But appreciate you as always, Ryan. Let the people know where they can find you on socials and online.
Yeah, we're over at Tennessee Rivals on Twitter. I'm at Ryan T. Sylvia on Twitter, and then it's volreport.com. We'll, of course, have football coverage as we're right in the thick of things. Then also basketball season's heating up.
Yeah.
So men's basketball coverage coming soon as they just kind of finished up a little secret scrimmage with Dayton, and then Lady Vols basketball as well, heading into the Kim Caldwell era. We have local media day this week, so we'll have inside stuff on both of those basketball programs as well.
Heck yeah, man. Definitely a lot of fun going on in Knoxville. Enjoy that win, brother.
Thanks for that, bro.
Yeah. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Good stuff as always. Whenever we need any Tennessee talk and it's not Joe Hunk, we'll talk with one Mr. Ryan T. Sylvia. We got to come back to a break, and when we get back, finishing out this first hour here on the Morning Blitz.
From opening night to Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans, don't miss a second of the NFL this season. Hi, this is Kurt Warner of Westwood One. Join our crew each week for the best in primetime NFL action. Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night football, plus marquee games on Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, and more. Westwood One is the exclusive radio home for every primetime and postseason game. It's right here.
Right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you ready for the best damn ride of your life? Give me the
Hello and welcome back into the Morning Blitz here on a Madhouse Monday as we react, and just talk about a lot of the fun stuff that happened over the weekend. And then tomorrow we'll be hopping into a little bit more of the NFL news, of course, hopping into what's your fantasy as well as the NFL rundown, as we have 2 NFL games tonight. And it should be
1.5. One most people aren't going to watch.
Yeah.
Or can watch.
Well, here's the thing, though. You will be able to listen to them on our networks, whether it's going to be Baltimore versus Tampa Bay on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, or the Chargers versus Arizona. That'll be over on Talk Radio WZZN. Make sure you guys have those apps downloaded. You can listen to us wherever you are, whether you're in Decatur, whether you're up in Franklin, Tennessee, whether you're in Arizona, or whether you're Natty Dan watching his Wolverines get pounded by a team from the 1940s. How do you guys feel about these old leather helmets being replicated on brand new gear? How do you guys feel about that?
It looked a little strange.
It looks awesome.
It looked strange. It
Mandy,
absolutely did.
What do you think about that Illinois drip?
They look pretty good.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, it looked cool. It just looked a little strange going, wait, that's a real helmet. Yep, that's a real helmet.
It was about as strange as when the Redskins actually wore them back in 2013. That's always what I think about. That's the standard of those leather helmets, but they add a little bit more. Turned out that they took 2 hours each to hand paint. Isn't that something crazy? You love college football and you love the amount of detail that's put into it. Just wish that much detail was also put into Alabama's game plan. in Knoxville. When we get back,
Ryan Williams there somewhere.
We're talking with Cody Goodwin from Bama 247 here on the Morning Blitz.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative, located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville. Their brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, their diverse menu has something to please every palate. And with a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, they invite you to savor the unique flavor of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative.
Hey Huntsville, looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by CB&S Bank. Bank anywhere, at any time, with CB&S Bank's digital solutions. Managing your finances has never been so easy. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here are thoughts from head coach Kalen DeBoer following Alabama's game Saturday at Tennessee.
Frustrating loss. You know, we've had two now. And we just can't play team football, can't bring it together. One side of the ball has highlighted moments and the other side, stumbles and, some missed opportunities. And then, you try to look inward and after every game. And, we got to continue to do the same. I know we got a locker room that's hurting. Feel like it's, there's always, a common feel in the locker room after a loss. But, these guys, I have no doubt in my mind that they poured everything into the preparation. Just frustrated we can't get over the hump.
I'll have more in a moment.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. You could say we know a thing or two about tradition. We've been family, community, and financially strong since we began in 1906. Being a team player is part of our culture. That's why at CB&S Bank, we're proud to sponsor the University of Alabama Athletics and prouder to take the field or court with you. Visit cbsbank.com today. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Join us tonight for Crimson Tide Rewind, presented by the Alabama Department of Public Health, live at 6 p.m. Central from Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Vestavia Hills. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by CB&S Bank. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. A quiet night expected across the Tennessee Valley. We'll see low temperatures fall into the low 50s for the overnight. Mostly clear sky expected. Heading into our Tuesday, we'll continue to see another dry day full of sunshine. High temperatures warming once again into the lower 80s for the afternoon. I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
3, 2, 1.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, Bailey Lowery, 256-576-4977. This is the Morning Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester, as the Morning Blitz is always brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, that I said while John is practicing his golf swing.
I got to make sure my back does not collapse when I'm on the course over at the beautiful Huntsville Country Club. Almost tried to put all three of those words together.
Country
at
Club.
once. But yeah, Fleming Roofing and Restoration is the guys that you need to talk about all of your roofing needs. If a golf ball hits your roof, goes through it, well, you got to get a free quote, and you can go and find that over at FlemingHSV.com.
Kind of
You
swing
can fill it out over there. It all depends on, where you're at. There's houses near all these golf courses, but fill your quote out and then go from there, and they will show up as they always do.
You can follow us on X at 97.7 ESPN or ESPN Winchester, which you can also watch us, and you can see John practicing that golf swing. But we need to talk about this Tennessee in the third Saturday in October game against Alabama. From the Alabama side, we had Ryan Sylvia on at 9:30, and he talked about it from Tennessee side. But let's go now back to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and Cody Goodwin joins us from Bama 247. And Cody, help us out with this, because Alabama does have other wide receivers than Ryan Williams, right?
They've got a few of them, and a few of them that we even like, and they seemed like they were pretty healthy this weekend at long last, right? They've got Ryan Williams, they've got Jeremy Bernard, Kendrick Law was back and made some impact in this game. Kobe Prentice was back, but really didn't play a whole lot. But yeah, 18 targets for the 17-year-old superstar, good as he is, was a little outrageous and makes you wonder. I don't know whether it was the quarterback, whether it was the offensive game plan coming into a game like this. I know you want to get your stars the ball, but even then, that seemed a little extreme.
Yeah, is that kind of okay? Wow,
You got it, man.
I just had like a brain shortage there. But is that part of the issue a little bit with Jalen Milroe, where it seems like that panic button where it's like, okay, the pocket's collapsing, I need to move. Instead of really taking it and running the ball, which you might be the fastest person on the field, the panic button seemed to be, let's try to get it to Ryan.
It seemed to be in this game. I don't know about previous games. He's done pretty well, passing the ball around and getting other receivers involved. But in this game, he seemed off. And, I don't know if panic was the right word, but he seemed to lock in on Ryan Williams more often than not. Oh, yeah. And it just, there were a few times where he would miss other receivers. There were a few times where he passed up maybe the easy button option to look for Ryan Williams down the field. Like I remember there was a play, I think it was first quarter, he took the snap on the far hash. It's a 2nd and 10, right? So he's rolling right and he has Justice Haynes open there in the flat. And, maybe Haynes goes down for a modest gain, or maybe he makes a guy miss and it's a bigger gain, but Haynes is open there in the flat. But instead, Milroe holds onto the ball, continues rolling, throws toward Williams, and the pass is a little off, so it's incomplete. So instead of 3rd and manageable, now you've got 3rd and 10, and they end up converting, but it's just kind of like, man, hit the easy button there. Take the easy pass. He had another play in the second quarter where, Jeremy Bernard is streaking down the field wide open, or at least open enough that a good throw probably results in a touchdown, but Milroe's looking the other direction and the ball goes elsewhere. So it was a really confusing game from Jalen Milroe, and just really another confusing game from Alabama as a whole. Just a lot of inconsistencies over the last week or the last few weeks, really. And on Saturday, I think it was more the offense and really more Milroe. It was a rough game in what's been a stretch of rough games for Jalen Milroe. The roughest game, I would argue, of really the last 3 that have been a little confusing after such a hot start.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And when you looked at this Tennessee team coming into the game, it looked like, Alabama's been having the struggles, but Tennessee's been having them a little bit worse. Going into this game, though, what did you have down on your sheet that says this is exactly what Alabama needs to do? If they do this, they will win the game.
So this was an interesting styles makes fights matchup, right? Mm-hmm. You had good on good in Alabama's offense versus Tennessee's defense, right? Alabama has largely moved the ball fairly well. They have found a way to put points on the board. But this Tennessee defense has been pretty locked down. They stop the run. They get off the field on 3rd down. They have a pretty mean pass rush with James Pierce Jr. That was one matchup. And then you had the other matchup where Alabama's defense, which had been a little suspect the last few weeks, particularly against Vanderbilt and then really the second half against Georgia, against the Tennessee offense that just seemed really out of sync. They had 3 straight games where there's no points in the first half. I think that's the first time that's happened for Tennessee in 50 some years or something like that. So just how is Alabama going to navigate these matchups? I think it's pretty safe to say that the Tennessee defense won their matchup. And then the other one, they traded punches, right? Alabama's defense was able to force 3 first-half turnovers, but the offense did nothing with them. And then, in the second half, Tennessee's offense was able to punch back a little bit. They ran for 180 yards in the second half and put up 24 points, and that was ultimately the difference in the game. I think Alabama's probably going to look back at this Tennessee game as a pretty big missed opportunity. They had a lot of chances here to, take advantage of the game, seize firm control, I thought, of this game. And every single time they had that opportunity, they came up short for, it was a variety of different reasons. But, this was a chance, I think, for Alabama to pick up a pretty big road win, to bolster their playoff resume. And now we're kind of wondering if they'll even make the playoff at all. It's crazy how fast this life can change in the SEC, right?
Well, no, and this makes me ask the question, because we heard this a lot from the Texas-Georgia game is, this Georgia team has been different since the first half of the Alabama game. Like, once they got in the second half, we saw kind of a different Georgia team. You can say the same thing about Alabama. What has happened since that second half against Georgia that has kind of caused all of these close calls? We know about the Vanderbilt loss, obviously the Tennessee one, but the game against South Carolina was close as well. What happened so that people figured out, or Jalen has even started to kind of regress? Why has that happened?
Stalled the offense.
Man, that's the crazy part, because they've been largely inconsistent, right? And you can kind of point to a few different things in every single game, right? The second half against the Georgia game, the offense slowed down a little bit, but it was really the defense that started giving up a lot of fourth down conversions, a lot of chunk plays in the second half. So, okay, it's Georgia. You can kind of hand wave that away. Then the defense really couldn't get off the field against Vanderbilt. A lot of really dumb decisions on, I would argue that everybody involved made a lot of dumb decisions to make the South Carolina game harder than it needed to be. And then the offense couldn't take advantage on Saturday against the Tennessee team that, yeah, the defense is really good. And the pass rush, I think, rattled Milroe a little bit, but it was the offense this time around that, we kind of thought was a strength of this team, the unit that you could rely on, and they did not get the job done on Saturday. So it's been a little bit of everybody. It's been a little bit of everything, just largely inconsistent, sloppy, undisciplined play. 15 penalties again on Saturday. Like, they're averaging almost 10 penalties per game in SEC play, and 15 is the most since the 17 penalties that they committed against the 2022 Tennessee game, right? So just a lot of really silly, undisciplined play by Alabama just across the board. It's been a different thing every time, but just that's been maybe the one consistency is the lack of consistency and the undisciplined play and the penalties and just not being able to put an entire game together, right? The offense played fine against Vanderbilt, but the defense couldn't get off the field. The defense, I thought, did okay against South Carolina, but, then they made some dumb decisions, and it put the defense in some pretty tough spots there at the end of the second half and the end of the first half as well. So, and then in this game, it was really the offense that could not come through, which is the first time we've seen that this season. So it's been a lot of things, but by and large, a lot of continued inconsistent, undisciplined, sloppy play from Alabama. And that's kind of, that you look at why they're 5-2. That's why.
Yeah. And 2 losses, of course, on a season where Kalen DeBoer comes in, of course, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. There's a lot of pieces that are getting moved around. And this is something that's happened before, but with Nick Saban switching up the offense and the defense. My question to you is, there's a lot of changes happening. Of course, this team might not be as strong as they usually are, but what are the things that truly concern you on a different level? And on the flip side, what is something good that we can look at after this loss, if anything?
Well, I think maybe the one good thing that you guys can cling to is that even with 2 losses, the season is not done yet. But now you kind of have to walk a tightrope if you're Alabama, right? You've got 5 games left. You probably have to win out now to even have a prayer at the playoff. And even then, because of 2 losses, you probably need a little bit of help along the way. And when you take a look around at the country, this is kind of a little bit of, bad with the good, I suppose. I don't know where that help could potentially come. You could talk yourself into the Big 12 maybe cannibalizing itself over the next few weeks, but there's still 2 undefeated teams in Iowa State and BYU. And if they continue to run the table, pretty good chance that both those teams are going to make the playoffs. So if that's a multi-bid league, that takes away an opportunity for an at-large from Alabama. You look at the ACC, there's still Clemson and Miami, and you've also got Pitt that's lingering around. You've got SMU that's 6-1. There's a couple other teams that, they're all going to play each other and sort themselves out. But if 2 or 3 teams from the ACC position themselves for the playoff, that could be another spot taken from an at-large potentially. The Big Ten has undefeated Indiana, undefeated Oregon, undefeated Penn State. There's also Ohio State. There's also a few other teams that are kind of lingering around there. Illinois right at 6-1 after their big win over Michigan. So, how many bids are they going to get? And then the SEC, there's still so much left to figure out, right? A&M, LSU kind of at the top of the conference, undefeated right now. Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, Texas, and Vanderbilt all only have one conference loss. So how the pecking order and the hierarchy of the SEC unfolds will dictate a lot of where maybe Alabama will factor into the playoff race. But right now they're squarely on the bubble. Their destiny is not in their hands. They have to win out. And even then, that's not a guarantee, right? You've got Mizzou coming in this next week. Then you get a bye week, I think a sorely needed bye week before you hit the road to play LSU in Baton Rouge, where probably going to be a night game. LSU doesn't lose night games at home, so we'll see how that one goes. And, you're going to need some help around the country if Alabama's ultimately going to, squeak in, I guess, or eke their way into the 12-team playoff. I think that's their hopes aren't done, but, they're going to have to walk this tightrope the rest of the season and get a little bit of help along the way.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Cody Goodwin from Bama 247 has been our guest. Before I let you go, Cody, I want to know, the way that Kalen DeBoer has been kind of utilizing Jalen Milroe. Does it remind you of a quarterback that was out west, except for it might just not be the same quarterback at the end of the day? Talk about
I mean, he's done some really good stuff with quarterbacks throughout his coaching career, right? I mean, he also, at Indiana, when he was the hotshot offensive coordinator, he had Michael Penix, but they also did some really good stuff with Peyton Ramsey that year as well. He went back to Fresno for 2 years and had Jake Haener, who, they obviously he threw for 2,000 yards that year, but they ran him a little bit as well. And then the last couple years with Penix. So, Milroe he's a different quarterback from those guys, man. He's a tremendous, phenomenal athlete, throws a great deep ball. He has been playing better this season, but really just the last 3 games have been kind of this rough patch. And, I think, we've seen him overcome rough patches, especially last year, right? When Alabama was kind of in a similar situation, right? They took the early loss to Texas and had to walk that tightrope all the way through SEC play, and they ultimately did it, and Milroe played better, and the bye week I thought helped a lot. We'll see if they can do that again, but, it's just different quarterback, different skill set, very unique skill set. I think DeBoer and Nick Sheridan have done a really good job of getting the most out of him, but he's in a funk right now, and if Alabama wants to get where they want to go, he's got to get out of this funk starting this week against Missouri. If Alabama wants to have any hope at potentially playing postseason football.
My answer could be less than 30 passes, and also don't target Ryan Williams every single time. He's good down the field, but not on those short gains. But great stuff from you always, Cody Goodwin. Let the people know where they can find your work online and on socials.
Yeah, man, on socials, just at Cody Goodwin on Twitter or X or whatever the heck we're calling that website now. And then obviously at Bama 247, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, we've got you guys covered, entirety of Alabama's football season, however much longer it may go this fall. And then also, hey, it is almost basketball season in Tuscaloosa, and they got a pretty good team on the hardwood this year as well. So whenever football season ends, we'll turn our attention to Nate Oates and the gang.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Appreciate you as always, Cody, and we'll talk to you soon, hopefully on a better note.
Appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Cody Goodwin from Bama 247. Make sure you check out his work. He does some great stuff over there. But yeah, right about that. Basketball, of course, coming up. Going to be a lot of fun to talk about Nate Oates' team. And then on top of that, well, he talked a little bit about a path forward for the Crimson Tide. And I honestly spent a little bit of time yesterday and honestly this entire weekend trying to figure out which teams need to lose to give the Crimson Tide some room to squeeze into that 12-team playoff. That's what's coming up when we get back here on the Morning Blitz.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative, located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville. Their brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, their diverse menu has something to please every palate. And with a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, they invite you to savor the unique flavor of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
We have developing news out of the NFL. If you need something to smile about and you're an Abraham.
Hey, no.
What?
Look. I know where you're going with this. All right?
It's
everywhere right now.
I've already seen all the memes. I saw all the memes after it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen a quarterback be celebrated for getting injured as much as Deshaun Watson has been celebrated.
Yeah. I saw a tweet actually come across the timeline that said, God, please take away Deshaun Watson's pain, triple it, and then give it to Deshaun Watson again.
Come on. Look, we understand that he is not the best person outside of the field.
Hey, he is a great citizen.
And he's definitely not a model citizen.
He has been a model citizen, man.
Myles Garrett.
He has been a model citizen. I don't know why people are wanting to bash the man.
But at the end,
he's been a model citizen.
Of the day, you don't cheer on a guy who just tore his Achilles. And a lot of people knew exactly what happened as soon as it happened because it was the exact same thing that we saw happen to Kirk Cousins last season as well as Aaron Rodgers at the beginning. And it opened the path, yes, for the future of this Cleveland Browns team, but he's still going to be a part of this roster all the way up until his contract.
If you don't know what we're talking about with the Myles Garrett thing in the model citizen part of this was Myles Garrett after the football game during this press conference talking about the injury to Deshaun Watson.
Man does pretty much everything right. He's been a model citizen through college and most of the pros. He plays the game as hard as anyone I've seen.
You think that's good?
Hold on, wait, what's that again?
A model citizen through.
False. Sorry, we caught you on the lie detector, Myles. Come on now. Go back to your dinosaurs, bro.
He's been a model citizen.
Look,
if he had said the past year, maybe, but he said through college.
No, I'll be honest. Look, all the way up until this stuff started happening with him and all the allegations and stuff, he was like the golden child. Like
badass.
everybody at Clemson loved him. Everybody in Houston loved him. He was getting this team to the playoffs. Like, he really was that model citizen that Myles Garrett. We just didn't know what was happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So if you have missed it, yes, MRI has revealed that Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson's Achilles is ruptured, and 2024 and that campaign is done for him.
You're telling me it wasn't already done for the Cleveland Browns because
they won 1-6.
That team is it's definitely falling apart. And DTR also got a little bit banged up after the game. And then the guy that was actually able to talk, and actually he made some good points in the way that he talked about it. And it was honestly like he wasn't trying to be too loud so the linemen didn't hear him, because I know damn well the linemen aren't big fans of Deshaun Watson. But Jameis Winston, I mean, the way that he talked about it, it is, yes, hey, you know what? He's got a great work ethic, all of that stuff. He was actually starting to show a little bit of promise at the right before his injury. But at the end of the day, I mean, 25 lawsuits cannot really be denied. And at the end of the day, his stats have not been good this year either. So if I were the Browns, I would have benched him inevitably. But that was something that Kevin Stefanski wasn't going to do, apparently. So it had to happen. It just didn't have to happen in this way.
So totally flipping the conversation back to Alabama, Tennessee after that game wrapped up this weekend. And we're talking about thinking of ways to salvage the season. And so one thing that Cody Goodwin said just a few moments ago was talking about this Alabama team. And he said that, you know, the one consistent thing for Alabama in 2024 has been inconsistency. That's it. And so Steve Moulton of The Drive, which you can hear at 5:00 tonight, tweeted out that and penalties. And I was just like, haha, no, he's right. Yeah, they had 15 penalties. Do you know that Alabama leads the SEC in penalties?
Yeah.
Yep.
They have 62 penalties so far this season.
But apparently they get all the calls.
Yes, they absolutely do.
Just not in their favor.
You know who is number one in the least amount of penalties in the SEC?
I want to throw out.
I'm going to say Auburn.
I'm going to say Kentucky.
No, it is the team that Alabama faces this weekend, Missouri.
Oh,
very fun.
40 penalties is all they have gotten so far this year.
Well, that's definitely not a matchup that I want to hear about. Mizzou is a good team, but I honestly still believe that Crimson Tide have a chance to win this game.
Alabama is like the fifth worst fifth. They're the fifth worst team in the NCAA in penalties.
Yeah. No.
They are 130th in penalties.
And this is why we saw early on in the season, there were even concerns about this. And now going up against even tougher opponents, the emotion, the passion, it gets a little bit overwhelming. And that is what leads to a lot of these penalties, especially during the SEC play. But yes, there is still a path forward, as Cody Goodwin was throwing at us. And I actually spent quite a few minutes to hours of my life yesterday trying to figure out exactly what they need to do. And of course, they have to win out. All right. You look at Mizzou this upcoming week, it's a 21 ranked squad. They've been falling back slowly, but surely you can get the upper hand on this team. Okay. You look forward to that LSU matchup. Thanks to Drew for throwing out the stat. 6-2 since 2008. And a lot of those matchups at LSU have been night games. And I will say, the atmosphere there is bonkers. Ole Miss had to play there just last week. I saw the fog coming in, the smoke. I was like, yeah, no, I would. This would be the craziest atmosphere ever.
That was the smoke from Neyland.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm talking about 2 weeks ago. All right.
It was still flying. It was still in.
It went back in time.
That was one. That was one thing that did crack me up. They had him on the broadcast, like all the Tennessee fans lighting their cigars.
Yeah.
Cut to that one kid trying to light his. I'm like, that's weak.
Rest in pepper sauce, kids.
It's like you got to go around. You're just trying to hit the middle part. You're not even lighting it right.
A lot of the time, these are kids.
They're new to this,
they're
man.
Like freshmen and sophomores. And
Look,
last time
new
they
to
didn't even
this.
bring the cigars because they didn't think they would win. But they ended up doing that in 2022. Now, if you're wondering also why they're not paying over $100,000 for rushing the field, well, that rule was changed in 2023. So if it happened last season and Alabama lost and they rushed the field, Tennessee, then that would be the $250,000 fine that they would get. But regardless, Alabama's still making money from this whole thing that went down. What we can look forward to is teams losing, all right? LSU is going to be playing Texas A&M this upcoming week. That's the number 14 team in the conference, and I have to admit, when I look at Texas A&M, they're a more well-rounded team, and I think they will actually get the dub against an LSU squad that honestly still doesn't have the defense that we thought they would be able to adjust with going into this season. On top of that, move down the list a little bit more because we got teams like Iowa State and BYU to also worry about. Iowa State and or BYU needs to finally slip up, all right? And there aren't too many clear losses ahead, but Iowa State plays Kansas State. That's the number 16th team in the land, the second to last week. And BYU, on the other hand, has 0 top 25 matchups, but they have shown a little bit of cracks in this defense, and they have been giving up a few more points, but it is still a really good BYU team. They still could very much make it as, of course, that Big 12 champion. Number 2, Georgia, or number 7, Tennessee, could lose their second game of the season before the year is out, and that's because they face off against each other on November 16th. So Georgia also has number 18, Ole Miss, but I don't see that as a loss, and that's similar to Tennessee facing off against the number 25 ranked Vanderbilt team at the end of the season. So they're going to have to win and lose. So they're going to face each other. One of those games is going to lead to a loss, and they'll have to go from there. Texas A&M has multiple chances to lose. I think there's the possibility of next week against LSU, which, again, seem like the exact same team at the end of the day. There's a lot of questions about why they are so good this season. And then finally, Texas A&M has to play Texas, the number 5 team in the land. So even if Texas A&M wins against LSU, they're still going to find a loss at the end of the season against that Longhorn squad. In my opinion, number 3 Penn State isn't exactly the real deal. They'll lose to number 4 Ohio State later in the season, and the same may go for the playoff contender Indiana, because they are number 13, and they also have to play Ohio State.
Their quarterback's injured.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Clemson. We're still talking about Clemson. Oh, my gosh. Number 9, Clemson should be able to make it regardless of their overall schedule. The only challenge will come from a possible undefeated number 19 Pitt later down the road, and that should be one heck of a game to finish off the ACC slate. And believe it or not, number 12 Notre Dame is in a solid position, okay? They'll have to face off against the American military, of course, in Navy and then in Army. So that's going to be a tough matchup for them, but honestly, this is a Notre Dame team that lost to, Northern Illinois early on in the season.
Given their biggest win of program history.
And from there on out, though, they have been a solid squad. But again, Army and Navy play like none other in the college football landscape.
They have been blowing out every single one of their opponents this season en route to being 6-0 for both of them being 6-0 right now for the first
45 to 28, man.
Yeah,
45
to
to 28. The Army caused a head coach to get fired this weekend.
Yeah, they
okay,
did.
Put that into a sense. Army caused ECU to fire their head coach after the game.
Mm-hmm. And then we also look
Who
at
would have thunk
the USC Trojans at the end of the year for Notre Dame. This isn't the same Trojans team that, played them late at night. It's had that same atmosphere as an LSU game, in Death Valley. It's not the same USC team, and they will Notre Dame will be able to defeat them at the end of the year. Miami has been the strangest team in all of the bunch. It seems like they pushed past the hardest part of their schedule, but who freaking knows? Because both Duke and Georgia Tech have shown some promising competition despite their lack of media attention. But still, this is a Miami team that's either I don't know. It comes with waves. They're good in the first. They're bad in the second. They're bad in the first. They're good in the second. So if a team is able to finally play a full 4 quarters against Miami and negate the playmaking abilities, then Miami is also going to drop. My predicted playoff at this moment goes this. Ohio State, who is going to beat Oregon in the Big Ten championship, will be the Big Ten team.
Okay.
Georgia is going to be the SEC team. Clemson is going to beat Miami in the ACC game. If nothing else happens, I think that Clemson will be the team to get it done against the Hurricanes. BYU makes it from the Big 12. This ain't your daddy's Big 12. That's all I got to say.
It's been a fun Big 12 to watch.
It has been.
I'll give it that.
Boise State or whichever military school beats Notre Dame is going to be the group of 5 team in. And then it's going to go Oregon at 6, Texas, Miami, Notre Dame, Alabama, Roll Tide, Kansas State, and Tennessee is going to be right at the end just because of that late matchup against the Georgia Bulldogs.
I'm noticing you're leaving out another certain orange team in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm noticing what's going to be going on with Texas.
Texas? Texas is going to have a tough little time at the end. I may have just forgot them altogether. No, Texas is 7.
Okay.
I got them in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'll admit, I've got my eye on this Vandy game this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Vandy able to take down Bama. Been playing very solid. They got Texas at home.
Look, Vandy's
in
decent.
quotation marks.
Vandy's decent, but I don't think they're that decent to do it again.
Just know who my underdog pick is for this week. If that's any actually, wait, maybe I should change it. If that's any trend to follow by, I have not won one at all this year. Maybe I should change it.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Florida State over Miami.
Opposite day.
I'm just shocked that we are October 21st right now, and we're having to come up with these scenarios for Alabama to make the college football playoff when it has expanded.
And we are actually considering the possibility that Vandy could take down Texas.
It keeps the no. I mean, you are.
Yeah, you're.
If they can take down Bama, they can take down Texas.
Vandy, I'm going to be honest with you.
In their home field,
Vanderbilt is an 18-point underdog.
I know they are
against Texas.
Hey, but how big? But they were underdog picks for the second round.
But they were an even bigger underdog against Bama.
23 points. So you do pose a pretty good question, but at the same time, nobody knew how good this Vanderbilt team actually was when they faced off against the Crimson Tide. We got to take it to break.
Clark Lee would hands down win SEC Coach of the Year if he beat Texas and Bama.
I agree, Mandy. He definitely would.
We already have the lines out for this weekend's high school football games.
Oh, geez.
I'm just saying they're out.
Joe might go into our degenerate side of the show, and I might actually go into some news coming out of Oklahoma. As another coach got fired up there in Soonerland. That's what's happening when we get back here on the Morning Blitz.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977ESPN.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-Sparky.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Take it to the house this football season with the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association. If Alabama or Auburn returns their first received kickoff in the second half for a touchdown at a home SEC game, one lucky fan will win up to a $75,000 down payment towards the purchase of a manufactured home from an authorized AMHA dealer. Don't miss your chance to take it to the house this season and win a beautiful manufactured home. Register to win today at auburntigers.com/ticket-to-the-house or rolltide.com/ticket-to-the-house. Certain terms and conditions may apply. To learn more, visit alamha.org.
Follow the Tide right here. Hi, this is Chris Stewart of the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Your home of all things Bama is 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Continuing on the morning blitz. Well, not yet 7. 7. Oh, look at this.
Look at that.
ESPN The Zone and ESPN Winchester. See, Steve Moulton got credentialed for the game, and he brought back gifts.
He really cares.
He brought back gifts. I got a program and everything
Kind of
from
like Cole.
from
actually.
Neelan.
I would say it's like Cole. You've been a bad boy.
Oh, look, I can see where Milrow threw the interception on that picture right there.
We got a lot of fun stuff to finish off with. Yeah, we're still doing the show.
My bad.
Oh,
sorry
geez.
about that.
No, totally fine.
Hold on. No. Before you do that, I do have audio as well because it's going to go into what you're talking about right now.
All right.
Okay.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to talk about Tennessee anymore. Bandy took his headset. I had my headphones off.
He did.
He's the smart one here. I'll let it roll. You guys deserve it.
Let me know when it's done.
I'll be like Natty Dan and accept defeat. All right. Golly.
That
you're not gonna play it?
No. I just had the intro. That's all. That's all it takes. But that is all it takes. You don't even have to play the whole thing.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And I'm not kidding. The moment that plays, that is the Undertaker doing the throat slash. It is done.
We're boned. That's kind of.
And I don't mean anybody, because look, it happened in overtime against Florida. Against Florida, it's going into overtime. You get this shot of Lagway, and then right when it zooms into him, all you hear is you just heard it again.
He did it again. Benny took his headset off. He's not even going to produce the show.
And then right after that, it was like, well, they're screwed.
I know.
They're screwed.
I saw the fear in some of those guys' eyes, and I got to admit, it was definitely not the same Alabama team that I know and love. Look, it doesn't change my opinion on this team. I'm just trying to be a little bit more neutral at the end of the day, and I got to say, Tennessee played the less worse game, and they were able to get the dub at home. A game where, honestly, they could have caught Alabama off guard in many other ways and actually performed better and possibly even beat them by more than one score, because Alabama had some opportunities at the beginning of this game that they did not push, and they did not get into the end zone. And a lot of that goes to, well, we're throwing it to Ryan Williams a little too much, and Jalen Milrow still being treated like a quarterback that is going to throw the ball first. I get it. He gets it. He has a beautiful ball down the field. But if you're trying to get him to pass over 30 times a game, it's just not going to work.
Okay, no. And let me ask this question, because I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, this Jalen Milrow has grown a ton over the last year. Okay, he's grown a ton. All right, but when is it going to be more about between the ears than what his athletic ability is? Because look, before the game, we talked about put pressure on him, make a quick decision, because when he makes the quick decision, a lot of times it's going to be the wrong decision.
And here's the thing. There was also phantom pressure that was getting on him, there were times that there was nobody actually getting to him. He was still forcing the ball out as soon as possible.
Because I mean, they were bringing blitz. I'll never forget. It's the one that Jam Miller stopped. Beautiful pass blocking by Jam Miller. It was brilliant. He stepped right up into the hole, right in front of Milroe, stopped the linebacker from coming in. Because if he hadn't have done that, Milroe would have been dead. I mean, it was a straight shot, untouched. He was about to get killed.
Listen,
and Jam Miller comes up and breaks it up just to give him that ability. I'm just curious as to when is this going to be now about what is between the ears with him and making these decisions. Because I will say there was a point in time in this ball game where he was in the end zone. He could have screwed up like he did last week and threw a bad pass, threw one that didn't cross the line of scrimmage, got a safety called on him, but he grew from it. And I'm like, wait a second, that is a growth from the quarterback position. It's making the decisions. When's he going to make the decisions?
There are some times when you see that, hey, he's actually learned from those past games, but you look at it at the end of the day, you look back to what Nick Saban was utilizing this guy for, and this is a part of the reason Nick Saban has moved on from college football, not because of Jalen Milroe, because of the future of this sport and where it's kind of gone. Look, Nick Saban never had a quarterback that was this athletic. You could say what you will about Jalen Hurts, Bryce Young. Those guys still were mainly pocket passers. Jalen Hurts, say what you will. But you look at the amount of passes that even Nick Saban was making this guy make, and the most he made last season was 33, okay? That was a matchup against Texas A&M where he had to throw for over 321 yards because the running game was just not there. He had negative yards in that game. You look at what he's done this season throughout the 7 games that he's played, and you see completion or attempts. It goes from 9 from that Western Kentucky game that he didn't play all the way in to now the harder competition. He had 33 against Georgia. That's the most you should give this guy because just the other day, he had 45 against Tennessee, and he only completed 25 of those. Okay, and a lot of them weren't even 2 wide receivers. They were 2 running backs and mainly Ryan Williams, and that is what puts this team in a hole. I'm done talking about him for now. We do have a guy on the phone lines. Bandy, let's hop into him real quick.
We got Crawdad on the hotline. What's going on, Crawdad?
Crawdad!
Hey, everything's good. I will ask the obvious question you're dancing around. Is it time for him to visit the bench? I think it is, even if only for a bit, because he's just not getting it done. He is playing horrible this year since the first half of the Georgia game. And it's about the future. I don't know how bad Ty Simpson is, but he can't be worse. I'll let you guys talk about it.
All right. Appreciate you, Crawdad.
I keep saying that about Peyton Thorne.
Look,
can't be worse. Might as well put Walker White in. Might as well.
It's tough at this point of the season. You're still trying to figure out some things. And also, which you shouldn't be at this point of the season with a quarterback that started now for almost 2 years. You're going up against Mizzou. It's going to be a tough team. It's not a game that you should lose, but as we've seen with Alabama, there are a lot of those games that they almost do lose. I still think you have the best chance with Jalen Milroe. It's just utilizing him correctly. Same can go for LSU. You do not want to put your backup quarterbacks in those types of matchups because they will get screwed up. And then, hey, I'm going to take it to the transfer portal. The morale's down, and you know what? My team's not looking that good either. So I'm gone. And then you lose the rest of your pieces for the future. Look, I think that Dylan Sampson and those guys down the line, those are the dudes you want to start in that, the 3rd week from the end of the season where it's against the no-show team. You always get them and see what you got right there. But at the end of the day, this is Jalen Milroe's team. He's got the C on his jersey for a reason.
And he's been a 2-year captain. You try to replace a captain this late in the season, I just don't see it going well for either. Like even if it does seem like Ty Simpson, like right now, would be the immediate better option to throw in under center. I think when you're trying to change out a captain, you're trying to change out someone who's earned the respect of his coaches and the players for the past 2 years. I don't see it ending well at all. Like I get to see it backfiring on Alabama, making the problem even worse.
And these are different quarterbacks we're talking about. Like we said, this team focuses heavily on Jalen Milroe and his ability to create plays. If you go down the line on the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th string quarterbacks, they're totally different when it comes to speed, when it comes to athleticism, all of that. So it's just like an overhaul of the team altogether. You can't do that in the middle of the season. And right now, Kalen DeBoer and this Tide team need to bite the bullet, hunker down, and really hope that their defense could start continuing, because I thought they were pretty good against the Tennessee team, continuing to help this team stay in games, because you're going to be able to do it against teams like Mizzou And LSU, you really need to get the offense going, because if you don't score over 20 points against an LSU defense that is not that good statistically throughout the SEC, then that's where the problem really arises. And all those scenarios I was talking about just moments ago kind of just go right out the window. And then we got to look forward to next year.
Well, I'm looking at the PFF grades on a lot of this. Now, I know, take PFF for what you will. But so far, Jalen Milroe has had 3 games that are considered his worst, quote unquote, against Tennessee, against South Carolina, and against USF earlier this year. Like, those are his 3 worst. Oddly enough, at Vanderbilt, his passing grade was actually a 90.9.
Scored 35 points against.
I mean, it really, he wasn't bad on this. What really is interesting to me, and it goes back to what we were talking about when it comes to the blocking and when it comes to like your pass depth and things like that, as far as the rush is concerned, he has thrown more interceptions when he has a clean pocket than when he's being blitzed. And that surprises me. Now, he's also thrown 132 times with a clean pocket as compared to 71 times when being blitzed. But he has 5 interceptions that he has thrown with a clean pocket. And I'm just going, wow, that shouldn't really be the case. And you shouldn't be throwing more interceptions when you have a clean pocket than when you don't.
Yeah, I totally agree. The pieces are slowly getting back into the puzzle. And I will say that, yes, the offense worked a little bit slower. It helped out at the end of the day that you had the most time of possession. But outside of that, I mean, there's not a lot of good to really look at when it comes to this Alabama-Tennessee game. And that comes from, honestly, both sides. Tennessee really just did the bare minimum to get this win.
Well, no, and that was what we were asking earlier with Ryan Silvio. Like, I was sitting and watching this game, and we obviously broke his thing down 16 different ways throughout the week last week. And I kept looking at it, and I kept thinking to myself, why is Tennessee not running the ball more when you know that Alabama's run defense is suspect? Like, why are you not doing this? And, Dylan Sampson was hurt early in the game. We know about Nico getting hurt early in the game as well. But then when they started running it in the second half, it was, hold up, thank you. Like, this is what this offense is. Like, be yourself. Yeah. And I think that is where, for me, I'm curious about with Alabama is, does it know its identity? Like, does this Alabama team know its identity outside of, screw it, Ryan Williams is somewhere? Yeah. No. Because on Saturday, that's what it looked like the identity was, hey, Ryan Williams is somewhere. There's pressure. Let me find 2, and I'll just throw it to him.
Yeah. I can't agree with you more. The identity just it's not there, and the running game especially is not there. As we saw Dylan Sampson get 26 carries, 139 yards. That is what this team can be on offense, whereas Jam Miller only got 12 carries and was only able to get 42 yards, which, he's got 42 yards through 12 carries. Run him more throughout the end of the game as well and see how far that gets you, because teams wear down quickly when it gets to the final minutes.
I don't believe that Milroe should be benched at this point in time. I don't believe that. But if he does struggle against Mizzou, you have an off week that you can start preparing. And outside of the LSU game, which obviously is important, and it is your season. Like, let's not harsh about it. Like, they have a very small chance at getting into the college football playoff right now. You lose to LSU, your season is basically done. Yeah. Like, in Alabama standards, you're not making the SEC championship. You're not making the college football playoff. You're going to the Outback Bowl. Like, that's what you're looking at if you're Alabama then, and you have Mercer and Oklahoma coming up before Auburn. That would be a time that Ty Simpson, putting him in, would make a lot of sense. Now, I would make sure that depending on how Milroe plays against Missouri, that you do start putting together a package to start seeing what you have in Ty Simpson. Because if your season is done, or if he gives you something that can go up against LSU that you haven't really seen before, like, we do, obviously all 3 of us do high school football. The things that we saw with Sparkman against James Clemens, they had not done the entire season, and they busted this out for the first time. And you're like, yeah, we're keeping this for that point in time. If there's a situation that Ty Simpson is in a better situation as far as distributing, being more calm in the pocket, if there are things like that can go into it, okay, then start getting him ready to have a potential presence in the offense against LSU. But if you lose against LSU, let Ty Simpson go against Mercer, Oklahoma, and Auburn.
At that point in the season,
let him see what you have.
No.
Okay, like I continue to sit here and pound the table saying that Auburn should be totally done with Peyton Thorne. But if you're Alabama, do this.
Yeah.
Like, it's now that your quote unquote season is done, give him the opportunity, because you should be able to beat Mercer with whoever's at quarterback.
Exactly.
Even if it's a fan that's in the third row, you should be able to beat Mercer. You may be able to say the same thing against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You just, obviously, if you're Alabama, you don't want to lose to Auburn when you have no reason to lose to Auburn.
Mizzou and LSU being, top 25 ranked teams does give the Tide a little bit of light moving forward. But again, a lot of help is needed for them to make it into that 12-team playoff, which is crazy to think because they're only 15. But honestly, 15 seems like very far away.
Do you know Brian Williams was only 17?
Yes, we do. And we'll take it to break on that note because we do need to talk a little bit about that Oklahoma team that Alabama will face off against in the second to last week of the season. That's what we'll get into before we get out of here on the Morning Blitz.
Rich Eisen here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Join us all season long as we get you ready for primetime NFL action every Monday night. Along with Kevin Harlan, Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner, and the entire Westwood One team will take you inside the locker rooms and the stadiums for exclusive previews and all the play-by-play action. Every week on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hey, Huntsville. Looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
AL cert number 21014.
As the calendar turns to Halloween, make sure you get more treats than tricks. Thomas from Talent Heating and Air is with us. Don't let those ghosts and goblins get you on Halloween.
Yeah, we're not too worried about the ghosts and goblins this Halloween. We'll come out, we'll do a free second opinion like we always do. We're offering $49 tune-ups to make sure that you're ready for the fall and the coming winter. And then we're also offering free heat exchanger checks. We'll come out, we'll check your heat exchanger, make sure you don't have any leaks and don't have to worry about carbon monoxide getting in your house.
And Talent Heating and Air won't ghost you on this Halloween.
If you call us, we'll definitely get to you right then, or we'll get right back with you. We pride ourselves in same-day service as much as possible.
Let the people know how to get you.
That's 256-503-4490, or if you want to hit us up on our website, that's talentHVAC.com.
Let Talent Heating and Air give you plenty of treats this Halloween.
Howdy, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you're planning a tailgate party at the game, cheering for your favorite teams at home, or at your local Baumhauers with your family and friends, we're here to make your football party legendary with our party-ready tray selections. From our always fresh buttermilk fried chicken tenders to the homemade Nana's chicken salad, and of course, our fresh, never frozen, award-winning buffalo-style chicken wings. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
All right, we got a minute and a half to get you guys.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Up to date.
What's that?
And out of here. Minute and a half. Joe,
It's
that's
too
just,
loud.
Joe, that's just bad radio. Oh, yeah.
It's just too loud.
Never mind. That actually goes into everything else we've been talking about today. That crowd noise for the
It's just
Tennessee
too loud.
Volunteers.
It's just
is
too loud.
A little damn too much. Those walls are built different, I guess.
Too loud.
Were you calling the game?
He was.
Oh, you're just saying what it was.
Like, that's the crowd. Oh, it's getting louder. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Hold on. Still not done.
Yeah, it's white noise, guys.
Yeah, that is it. It's too loud.
I would fall asleep to that.
Jalen had to specifically go up to the other 10 members of the offense and let them know what was happening.
Before we get you out of here, for anybody that cares about what's going on with the Oklahoma Sooners, their offensive troubles have boiled over. Seth Luttrell is out as the OC after 9 games as coach. He also was able to coach that bowl game last season. Played with Josh Heupel at Oklahoma back in the 90s.
I can't hear you. It's too loud.
Went to several bowl games as the North Texas head coach. He's now out of there as Oklahoma has only put up 288 yards per game on average. So it's the worst in the league by like 30 points. And I think it's right behind Kentucky, who is like 30 points ahead. Either way, for me, Joe and the Bandyman, we'll see you guys in 22 hours. Peace.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in.